What is going on, everybody? Mace Fowler here, as always, on Unfiltered. And I'm back again to continue my discussion about DLC. Now, yesterday we kind of went on the ins and outs a little bit with a tiny bit of a tirade, a little bit of a rant on my end. But let's talk business. Let's talk business and how it pertains to DLC. Let's talk money, all right? Oh, and first off, once we hit 10,000 subscribers, iPhone 7 Plus Black, matte black, for whoever wants to join in on that. So check this out, y'all. I've got pulled up right here VG charts. Now, it's not obviously the most accurate, but it is the most accurate in terms of a ballpark when it comes to giving us like an idea of where we're at when it comes to numbers with sales and whatnot. And there's a shitload of advertisements on this, and it's fucking annoying. Anyway, so what we're going to be talking about is the money aspect of DLC and incentivizing. Now, there's a huge incentive for whoever owns a greater market share of the home console market to who we're going to push a deal to. Right? Now let's take a look at Mass Effect Andromeda, for example. This week alone, for the PS4, they sold over 600,000 copies of the game in 1 week on the PS4. Xbox One, 347,000. And I'm trying to remember where it was, but the PC version was well below that. But what you're seeing is that Sony has a huge incentive to, well, Mass Effect, BioWare, Electronic Arts, they have a huge incentive because PlayStation holds a great market share. So if they want, they can offer exclusive DLC on that platform because it holds such a great market share. On the flip note, though, for a company that has a lower end of the market share. Because remember, when it all comes down to licensing, Microsoft and Sony are still making a shitload of fucking money when it comes to licensing. Sony alone made $6 million just in licensing last week alone on that one game. Remember, it's rough. Microsoft, about $3 million in licensing. That's it. So when you take a look at this as a whole, it's really astounding. It's fucking astounding how this all kind of can culminate to who's going to get the better deal, who's going to offer the better deal, who's going to present it first. Sometimes publishers will go out to a manufacturer and be like, hey, we want to offer you this exclusive DLC for your platform. Now, you would think, though, that Microsoft would be incentivized because of their lower end numbers, and they don't have as great of a market share as Sony does in the home console market right now. So you would think, oh fuck, Microsoft should then put out an offer, right? But because they don't have that big of a share in the market, their return on investment is going to be relatively low. Whereas Sony, they could go out and pump out a deal, and what's it going to do to them? It's like, yeah, fuck it, right? Let's make a deal. And that return on investment is going to come like that. Now, over time, we see numbers fluctuate. Mass Effect Andromeda is still relatively a new game. Not brand new, still relatively new. So, of course, it's going to be making a lot of money as it is. But then, over time, people have experienced the game. They sell it off to GameStop, secondhand market, then takes up a huge share. And I would love to get numbers in secondhand market, but those are not very. But like I said before, GameStop is going to be making a fucking killing. Now you got to think, if brand new copies of Mass Effect Andromeda were sold, 600,000 units. What if GameStop sold 100,000 units used? That's a fuckload of money to GameStop. Because all they're out is what they initially paid for the trade-in, less if it was cash. So GameStop literally makes a fucking killing. And I keep going back to GameStop, but as much as I might detest them, they're doing pretty good. But at the same time, though, why is GameStop in the position that it is in? Because it's put its hands all over the place, except for anywhere that it should. That's why their market share is going down. They're diversifying, but they're not diversifying in a way that looks towards the future. They're diversifying in a way that is very, very old school. They're not going with trends necessarily. They're sticking to what's tried and true. So let's say the 600,000, right? Let me bring up my calculator. So 600,000 units. 600,000 units. 600,000 units, right? And let's say out of those newcomers, let's say, I don't know, 15,000 people. Now, it doesn't really have DLC right now. Let's say 15,000 people bought DLC, right, for this game. And let's say on average, because it fluctuates, but let's say the average is $7 per thing of DLC. Some DLCs cost 10 to 15, some cost $1, some cost $5. 7's a good round number. $105,000. And if you think of it, here's where the incentive comes from before. $105,000 of revenue distributed, with licensing, publisher, developer costs, all that. And in some cases, based upon contracts, it might just go straight to the publisher. Companies are definitely fucking incentivized to just take assets from the game that they've already made and just fucking sell it. That's one of the things about DLC from the business perspective, when utilized this way, is fucking magic. It's essentially free fucking money. It's just being pumped out like this. It's being pumped out in such a way that people can profit quite a bit. Now remember, this is profits from that. Now what I say, net profits in the day, you definitely have, it gets split up between all the different entities it has to go to, and then people are paid, money exchanges hands, all that shit. So by the time it's all said and done, let's say the actual net profit from this week's worth of DLC that is sold is what? $20,000 net profit after everything else is said and done. $20,000 fucking dollars in a week. That's not fucking bad in pure profit after everything else is said and done. Come the fuck on, man. That's fucking money. So, where does this leave us? This leaves us questioning and wondering what direction the games industry is going to take. Because the word of the day is incentive. Companies need to be incentivized. How do you incentivize a company? Dollars. You got to let them know, like, hey, money. But not always. Think of the future. Some companies really think of the future. Some companies not so much. Some companies are believing in tried and true methods to get them to the next step. And they go the way of the dinosaur, unfortunately. GameStop's case, we'll get rid of them sooner or later. Some companies like to do something new, do something different. And that's why we have Nintendo. Now, recently announced was, some of the information pertaining to Breath of the Wild's downloadable content, which that is, some of it's just cosmetic armor and shit and stuff like that. But, people love the game enough to want to buy it. And do I think it's crap? Yeah. Could those assets already have been made in the game beforehand and they just waited it out and to deliver it to us? Yeah. It could have just been stuff that they took out of the game to set aside for DLC. Definitely could have done that. I'm telling you, Nintendo could have been doing the same thing as everybody else. But what Nintendo has done is that they've ignored trends. You have a console that just came out, the Nintendo Switch, Doing very strong, by the way. Currently, its weekly global charts, it's at number 2. Just shy of 100,000 units in America alone. Now you got to remember, this is because of availability. These numbers would be a lot higher would there be more. Every time I see one in a store, it's just a fluke, because by the time I'm done shopping and I go by that same area again, it's fucking gone. Globally, Nintendo Switch sold 234,000 units. PS4 globally 249,000 units. Fucking close, man. The Switch is getting there. What's holding the Switch back right now is obviously games. You need a bigger library. You need a diverse library of content for people to engage in. But it is still selling strong nonetheless, even though it's still relatively new. Now, the thing I love about the Switch is that it came out as a new console. It came out with fucking one of the best games that we've seen in a very long time. A game that might have had a couple issues here and there, but dude, it's fucking amazing, right? People loved it. They're still fucking playing it every day on YouTube. All I see is more people talking about Breath of the Wild. It's very, very endearing to see that. But from a business standpoint, they've left people alone. They didn't bug them out of the gate with DLC. Nintendo, a lot of their hardware stuff, extra stuff that came with the Switch that you have to buy, like the Pro Controller and stuff like that, costs a lot more, right? So the Switch alone, even though it's the console, it's relatively cheap. You got to buy the console, you got to buy the games. There's other, people, they didn't want to rush people out. And that's one thing I love about GameStop, is that they love to make GameStop. Wow, shit, did I say it? Nintendo. One thing I love about Nintendo is Nintendo loves to make a profit. They'll undercut performance, and they'll, give us aesthetics. They'll give us fantastic presentation over, flashy graphics? We all love flashy graphics, don't get me fucking wrong. But Nintendo is going to do what works, and that's at the end of the day. It's all about how does the game play? How does it feel in the hand? And that's what Nintendo's always done, is that they love to chase a profit. So what they've done here is they've realized we have a new console. We have a great new IP for this console. Well, not new IP, but we have the next edition of our most famous, probably our second most famous IP. It would be a bad decision for us to just say, oh yeah, here's this game. Oh, by the way, you can have all this downloadable content. Nintendo's done a very interesting thing with Breath of the Wild, and that's DLC's coming. DLC's coming. We're going to make sure you guys can keep playing the game, but the game itself is huge. It's going to take a while. So how do we fix this? How do we incentivize people to continue to play our game? Don't overwhelm them. If there's too much to do in a game, people are just going to get overwhelmed, and they're going to say, well, this is a bit too much. I'm going to go take a seat. Right? But Nintendo understands the world that they created. Massive. It's fucking huge. So, give people time. Let them get a full experience, and then bring them in. Like, hey, you had fun in your adventure? There's more. There's more. Just gotta pay, but there's more. And people are so nostalgic. Holy shit, there's more? I thought I was done with this game. Fuck, it's like crack, man. I gotta get back at it. I gotta go back into the wilds. But from a business standpoint, they could have come out with some day one DLC. They could have come out with like, hey, fuck it, brand new console. You're already spending money. Spend just a little bit more. Fuck it. We are at a very interesting crossroads with what to do about DLC. And DLC, microtransactions, the whole lot of it, it's just a part of the industry. It's a part of the way that we make money. Now, is it greedy? Yeah, it can be at times. It can be. Ubisoft. Some DLC it's pretty it's the free money thing. Like in a lot of the Assassin's Creed games, it's like, hey, you can go get all these collectibles in the game, or you can just pay us a small fee and we'll just have it already in your inventory. You ain't gotta fuck with it. It's almost as if they structure the collectible things in the game to be time consuming, to deal with, people are impatient. People are so impatient. How do we profit off of people being impatient? We structure a game in such a way, or an aspect of a game in such a way, that it takes too much time to go and do all this stuff just for whatever reward that's trying to be attained. So what we do is we offer it just to be taken care of. You've got other stuff to do. You've got pirates to kill. You've got people to assassinate. It's fine. We'll unlock all this stuff for you. Just slide those dollar bills on over here. There you go. It's done. Fuck off until you're ready to buy more. That's how it works. Love Ubisoft. Kind of. I'll talk about Ubisoft some other time. Fuck, man. I thought I said some bad stuff about Capcom yesterday, but no. But, so, I talked about the business of it. How we make money. How it's distributed. Where the profits come from. Why it matters. And what's the word of the day, ladies and gentlemen? I can't hear you. What's the word of the day? Ladies and gentlemen, it is incentive. Companies need to be incentivized. And dollars and bills, that incentivizes them. Longevity incentivizes them. How long can we make sure that this content is exclusive to our platform? It's a high-selling product, but we want it exclusive on our end. How much is it going to cost so that we can hold that title? Money's always exchanging hands. Always. In this industry. Money is a very critical component to why the games industry is the way it is. And it's good, it's bad, but we are at a very interesting crossroads. We need to see if nickeling and diming the consumer, I mean, that being on a mobile platform makes fucking sense, right? That's their business strategy. Ad revenue and microtransactions. But being in a home console AAA title, what the fuck, dude? It has no business there. But it is. PC, on the other hand, though, it's implemented its way there as well because, it's cross-platform for a lot of titles. But a lot of PC exclusive stuff, you don't see those very often. PC exclusive games, that fucking market, it's like, dude, we know you guys got mods. Fuck it, dude. Here's the core game, and you know what? Here's the assets to create those mods. You be the creator of your destiny. Go do it. Enjoy. It's all over the place. So what are we going to talk about tomorrow? We're going to talk about a solution. Are we going to get rid of DLC and microtransactions? Fuck no, dude. Come on. You fucking high? No, we're not going to get rid of them. It's fucking free money. It's easy fucking work. Is it a pain in the ass? It can be. But from where I'm sitting, it's fucking great. But we do have a light at the end of the tunnel that we will discuss tomorrow. This is Mace Valor on Unfiltered. Thank you so much for dropping by. Like, comment, subscribe. 10,000 subscribers. iPhone 7 Plus. Give a fucking way. Don't forget to comment. If you comment, it lets me know that you're real and not a bot, so that when I do present this bad boy, we are getting there. We are fluctuating between, 179 and 182. It just keeps going up and down. Let's just keep going up, up, up. Also, I do take requests, and I would love to answer some of your questions if you have any for me. So, Mace Valor, signing the fuck off.